Hello everybody and welcome to Summon Night Swordcraft Story 1 Part 1. Viewer discretion is advised, seeing as there is some inappropriate content in this game, so viewer discretion is advised. Okay, after a short title screen, I guess, let's start a new game. You can choose from either male or female. It really doesn't have any real impact on gameplay. It just sort of changes the dialogue somewhat. Anyway, you wake up in bed, having someone screaming at you to wake up. Okay, so just go down the stairs. And he falls downstairs. Nice way to start off the morning. Anyway, I'll just go with the default. Anyway, I should mention that I very much doubt I'll get into any actual combat until about minute 20, I'd like to say. And I'll probably be running away from most of the enemies at the first part, just because you don't have a weapon useful, strong enough to really practically kill the enemy with. She gives you a charm. Okay, go up the stairs, go to this dresser, make sure you grab this entrance ticket, and grab this water scooter over here. I'm not entirely sure how you carry something that big around with you, but whatever. And go across this bridge. I'll be choosing most of the options randomly. There's a few parts that I'll be answering myself, but for the most part it's going to be random. Anyway, just go to the left here. Back to this guy. Go into here, talk to all four of the people you can. Please know that this next part won't trigger until after you speak to them. And after some speaking from the crowd, painfully obvious who some of the main characters is gonna be, doesn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, don't worry about that though, because you'll be able to train as much as you want before the tournament part. Anyway, just exit the building. Go to the Silver Guild, which is right here. And yeah, before I get too far, I should mention that there are going to be some parts of this game I won't be covering. They actually involve you doing certain things during certain periods of times in this game. Because unfortunately you can only do certain things on certain days. So I would highly recommend having some sort of walkthrough if you want to do some of the extras. I'll be covering this main game and the post game. Anyway, go off to the right. Really, I'm fine with pretty much all of the Guardian Beasts with the exception of Cuddy. Let's just say dialogue gets very dry if you have that Pokemon with you. I would describe him some way else if I could, but that's the best way I can describe him. A Pokemon. I mean, it's essentially a, I really don't know how to describe it. It's essentially a wind version of a Marill Pokemon. That's probably the best way I can describe it if I remember what it looks like correctly. Except it doesn't have a ball tail. Anyway, arguably the best for offensive combat is going to be Rachel, because he, as far as I'm aware, gets a combat boost for spells and can deal the most damage out of all of them when it comes to spells. Sugar's restorative magic. The robot, I think the robot actually gets Astro Guard or early, and let me tell you, that can be extremely useful. Rachel actually gets the weapon shield early. I know it's one of those two things for either the robot or Rachel. They're probably interchangeable because I can't remember which one gets which, but I'm sure they get those two get one of those things early. I know Sugar gets more healing spells than Cuddy. Cuddy technically has one of the best spells in the game early on, which is Agility Up. Which, Yeah, I'm probably just going to be increasing defense and taking most of the hits, but let me tell you, if you want to actually bother moving around, Cuddy's agility up really does decrease the amount of damage you'll take, because you'll be able to just sort of dodge a lot of the incoming damage. Okay, just try to exit the room. Bron, talk to ya. And this guy gives you the labyrinth key. I apologize in advance if I pronounce that incorrectly constantly throughout this playthrough, but labyrinth key. Gives you a new technique. Unfortunately, you don't have any materials to actually make said thing. I don't remember a thing. Yeah, that's nice. Unfortunately, you don't have any materials whatsoever. You know, this was the second one. Some people might be kind enough to just sort of hand you one, but in this one, oh no, you gotta collect them yourself. Yeah, that gets painfully apparent pretty soon in this game. Iron ore is on sale today. Okay, just exit. Go to the left. Go into this building. Back to the salesman. Either way, you're forced into this conversation, and she just sort of says no. What's here? Bron would be right here. You tell him about that. Oh, sure, you can borrow a weapon. Yeah, this is probably one of the few games like this I know of that you actually have to make your own weapons rather than actually buy them. Of course, if this was the second one, Actually, come to think of it, I think they hand you the materials you need to create your first weapon twice. Because if I remember correctly, that one breaks, yeah, then you gotta go out hunting for your own one. I'm sure we'll get to that once I get to the second one after this guy lets me through. There we go. Anyway, I'll be running away for the majority of these fights until I get a decent weapon. Because let me tell you, trying to kill these slimes that appear here is painfully slow. Actually, I don't know. Does she give you anything? Far as I know, she doesn't. Yeah, don't bother trying to fight these slimes. You'll be able to deal maybe 10 damage on a good critical hit with your hammer. But really, your hammer is going to have a very slow attack rate, so it's just not worth trying to kill these things with this. Okay, after Thanry leads to the second level, make sure you go over to the right, grab this iron ore. You'll well be needing this to make your first weapon. Hopefully you don't get stuck fighting things like that. Again, don't bother fighting anything with your hammer. It's a big waste of time, especially when that's your attack. Let's just say once you get a sword, it's gonna go much easier. So, oh, sorry, I meant knife, not sword. You don't get a proper sword until later in the game. Anyway, after you get the iron ore, just go upstairs, go up into this room, make sure you create materials, use the iron ore, create weapons, select sword type, and make the novice knife. I'm pretty sure you'll well be needing this to actually get the storyline moving, so make sure you get that. Thanry comes in and says, "Oh yeah, you just made your first weapon." Okay, so it hands you a match notice. really, I don't use too many other things other than swords, but I'm probably going to build up the spear ones too, just so I have a more versatility, because oh boy, how to describe the combat in this game. I'm sure I'll get to it once I get multiple weapons I can actually equip. Anyway, make sure you equip your that little knife you made, because it's going to be much more useful than your hammer is. Please note, if you do break your knife, it'll immediately switch off to the hammer. Anyway, go down and go into Central Tower again. And I don't know how to describe it, but essentially, whenever you can get down to the next teleporter, you're probably ready for your competition match. So just keep going down and down and down until you reach the next teleporter. Thankfully, your weapon HP will recover after every fight, unlike the fifth one. Unlike the second one, which actually keeps your weapon HP the same and after the end of each fight, which makes keeping weapons from breaking very annoying. Anyway, just I would highly recommend increasing attack. I don't think there's anything down by that door. Really, the only enemy you're probably going to want to run away from is going to be the cursed sword until you have, I'd like to say at least 10 attack, because you don't want your weapon breaking. Well, it's trying to take too long to actually get 10 attack, but they can deal maybe 18 damage. Please note that with a sword, you'll only be able to hit the thing that's directly in front. So try to avoid attacking multiple things in range all at once, otherwise you'll only hit the front one and the other one, but directly behind it can actually attack you. So be very careful about that. Anyway, yeah, you can break these barrels and crates to actually get some materials. Again, avoid getting all of them grouped up together, if possible. You'll be getting quite a few level ups for this first part. Anyway, make sure you grab the iron ore to the right of this area. Okay, and we got about 50 more points. Yeah, that should about do it. Yeah, it's probably just overall better to just jump back rather than run back every time after a attack. Okay, after you get past that 10 attack, you should be able to take on the cursed swords you can run across here. They're fairly easy and give you a very good amount of experience. Up to, I'd like to say 200. Yeah, here's one. If you time your block correctly, you can actually guard and negate all damage. You might get more experience if you actually kill it faster. Anyway, yeah, hopefully you're getting plenty of materials, because let me tell you, that's going to be a very important part of the game. Okay, after all that leveling up, you should be able to hit that teleporter. And teleport to the first floor. Yeah, I'm just going to use bandage. That should heal me all the way up so we can deal with this boss fight real quick. Make sure you select Aqua, Tornado, and Enchant Aqua, or well, whatever your spells are for this fight. Yes, hopefully you got at least one charge. I'll be trying to break his weapon. I'm gonna try to break all of the knight's weapons, seeing as you actually get them as a reward if you do manage to break them, but no promises. Just focus on one of their HP bars at a time, either their weapon HP or health HP, because let me tell ya, your weapon can break very easily when it comes to this guy. Especially seeing as it only has 50 HP for the default weapon you have. Anyway, if you do it right, you'll get that shaved sword as the weapon you can make. I really wouldn't recommend using it though, seeing as it decreases the agility by a very high amount, which, actually no, I didn't use the summon beast, did I? I guess that was If he got low enough on HP, yeah, I would have used Aqua Tornado and probably killed him, but didn't need to do that. $30 in. Now you get to select whoever you want for the walk. Let me tell you, there's going to be a very wide variety of choices for that. I'm just going to select these things at random, seeing as really, aside from the last of these nights, it really isn't going to have too big of an impact. I mean, probably I should rephrase that. The second to last night, I think it was, is the one that actually changes the text for the end of the game. Really, it doesn't actually have any effect on the game itself. It just has a different ending statement for whoever you chose that night. Okay, so apparently he's going to Vance. And you're going to be going with him. Okay, so go to the harbor. And talk to him. And apparently he owns that boat. Or ship. And after a screen, I guess, for holding this area, he just sort of leaves. And let's see here. I don't know. Is there any unique things in the item shop? I know the weapon shop is the thing you can buy. You can sell weapons in. Let's see here. Let's check the item shop real quick. I don't think there's anything really important. And I guess you can buy one of those bracelets or rings or shoes, but really nothing too important. Nothing you can't really get in later in the game. In the point breath. Anyway. Okay, well, seeing as I can't actually buy anything, just go. And he gives you the Iron Saber. And Yeah, he says it's great, and let me tell you, it is. Actually, I'll probably be using this weapon throughout the majority of this part of this in the game. Actually, the next two parts, now that I think about it, ain't that the enchanted version of the Iron Saber, which you can get by using Mystic Ore. Creating a new one with Mystic Ore, well, is very, very good, and it has a very high weapon HP. I really would not recommend this because you'll be getting a lot of materials in this next part. Unfortunately, they'll be cut in half if you do decide to sell them to this guy. Anyway, just go down, and now we can go do the wine breath again. Oh yeah, after talking to this guy, I would highly recommend talking to this guy. He gives you free, I'd like to say free Mystic Ores if you talk to him and say, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I almost forgot to make an Iron Saber. That would have been a whoops. I better go and do that then. With those 2 iron ores you did get for going through the first 3 floors, this really shouldn't be too big of an issue. Just create materials. And I believe you should be able to create a Iron Saber. I really would not recommend bothering with a Chafed Sword. It decreases agility if I remember correctly. And let me tell you, this weapon is much better than what you're using. So just equip that. Equip that novice knife for a secondary if necessary. And we'll have to create another Iron Saber and then with Mystic Ore later. But for right now, let me tell you, the Iron Saber is much better than what the novice knife does. It should be dealing, I'd like to say, around 25 damage in the hit. Take the Sanry. Nope. Yeah, those triangles are used to heal HP and MP. I guess I didn't technically need to, but well. Yeah, with the Iron Saber, you really shouldn't have any real problem just sort of taking out pretty much everything in this area. Anyway, yeah, just jump attack these things. And I highly recommend breaking these crates and barrels. Hopefully for bottomless cups, seeing as water is probably going to be the most difficult element to get right at the moment. Ah yes, healing. Yep, let's put that in. Okay, I think after the next 4, we should just be able to run all the way through. With Aqua Tornado, you can essentially attack everything around the Summon Beast, where it appears. Extremely helpful for dealing with groups. Unfortunately, yeah, I should probably mention that everything in this game and spell-wise actually goes by charges. That being said, once you run out of charges, you won't be able to cast any spells of that type. Seeing as I already used a Aqua Tornado and I only had 1 charge of it, I'll have to restore MP before actually being able to cast it again. Also, if you notice on the bottom right hand side of the combat screen, there are crystals. These crystals actually determine how many actions you can actually make. For instance, if I use an enchant aqua, it'll destroy one of the crystals, so I can only use 4 of the things in the support menu. And I may as well put something like that on. Yeah, after I deal with that, I'll probably just run through. Anyway, there may be some hidden passages, or well, rooms, I should say, in some floors. They're fairly easy to find, seeing as some of them just sort of look like shadowed areas. Or cracked walls. I'm sure we'll come in contact with them soon. Actually, I think they're on the last floor of this area. As you can see, those things use machine guns. Shouldn't be too big of a problem as long as you don't get hit by them. Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna bother with any crates or barrels right at the moment then. Although I will say if, I think there's a special weapon you can actually get by breaking all of them as you go down. And when I say all of them, I mean all of them. I'm obviously not going to do that, seeing as that just take an excessive amount of time, but anyway, if you need an HP or MP refill, just use that teleport up to the first floor and go to bed using the Silver Guild area. Later in the game, once you get well, actually, I think the third floor would actually be the easiest way, because some parts of this game are going to have some of those blue triangles in the general area, which means you should just be able to teleport to an area near that and just use those to heal yourself. Okay, I'll try to refrain from destroying most of these barrels and crates. Speaking of which, I believe to the right there's actually one of those hidden rooms. So let's just deal with that. Your guardian beast will get more charges as they level up for certain things, based on what exactly their level is. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'll just keep increasing attack. That seems to be going well. Anyway, yeah, this is one of those secret areas. They're not really too difficult to find, but I probably won't enter all of them. Hopefully you have at least 2 mystic ores by the time you leave this area. Because you'll probably want to be making an aqua saber, which let me tell you is much better than any other weapon you can get for the sword class. I'm not entirely sure about any other class. Probably the best overall weapon I could think of would be a drill. And really that's because the amount of damage you can deal with a drill is substantially higher than any other thing there is. That is, of course, damage per second, seeing as if the only real unfortunate thing about a drill is the fact that you're going to be needing to actually make it so they don't actually hit you while you charge up, which can be a pain. Also, for any enemies that like to switch whatever side they're on, please note while charging your drill, if I remember correctly, you can't actually turn, which is a pretty big annoyance when it comes to enemies like that. Anyway, after grabbing some materials, I don't know, I think that room was the last of them. Okay, yeah, I guess it was. Anyway, yeah, certain spells actually have certain ranges. For instance, this Aqua Tornado spell actually attacks everything around the Guardian Beast, which means things that are directly on top of where they are, or well, right below where they are, probably won't get hit. I mean, I don't know that much about this first one, how the ranges work, but let me tell you, it's a pretty big nuisance in the second one, especially if you're using electric and wind attacks, seeing as pretty much anything that's directly in front of you can't actually get hit by those things, because the Guardian Beast sort of appears about that far away. So pretty much as they were directly in front of you, like that Pumpkin just demonstrated, you're probably not going to hit it with those types of spells for their standard basic attack, which makes the starting parts of that game pretty big nuisance. Anyway, let's heal and leave this area. If you are not actually making those iron sabers for that guy, you'll be saving a lot of extra material. honest with you, like Aqua Tornado the best, seeing as it generally hits everything around you, which includes some of the things behind you when it comes to range. Make no mistake, probably the thing with the shortest range would actually have to be the fire spell, seeing as it's essentially everything touching the guardian beast that is affected. But that one also has the highest amount of damage output. As you can see, that one sort of missed that. Anyway, let's increase defense slightly. Anyway, I guess the standard variant of the Iron Saber does have 100 weapon HP. Anyway, use the teleporter back to floor 1, climb out, then if you do have Mystic Ore, I'd highly recommend creating a Mystic version of the Iron Saber, as well as whatever weapon branch you did decide to create. Let's see here, just select what you want to deconstruct. With the material ore, you really shouldn't have any problem actually having all your things up. Anyway, let's create a weapon. Let's start with the standard variant of the spear we got. As well as use the Mystic Ore on an Iron Saber, and let me tell you, the Aqua Saber is much more useful, seeing as it increases it by about 14 attack. Yeah, I don't think I need to express how useful that can be, as well as has slightly more weapon HP. Anyway, yeah, let's just select the Iron Saber as a sub-weapon, the Aqua Saber for default, and get a new type of spear. Please note you can only get out one weapon from that guy at a time, so you can only build Okay, and with that, let's just put that novice knife out of there and put the Yari in. Okay, and with that, we are ready for the next part. Let's see here. I can't remember how to initiate this next part. Oh yeah, that's right, we got... Well, first rest and then talk to the guy at the port. This really shouldn't take too long. There's pretty much 2 boss fights that you gotta worry about in this part. And then there should be a cutscene with this kid. Nah, you just think I am. Okay, after that, go to the furnace. I'll probably end this episode after the night's over with. Okay, go to the arena. Again, I'll be selecting options at random. You'll get stopped by Sanry. Why do I have to do it? Okay, go to the harbor, which again is where you had to meet Braun, so just head to the upper left hand corner, make sure you have your support spells ready. You're probably going to want Astral Guard if you got the robot. I'm pretty sure the robot was the one with Astral Guard. Weapon Shield can be extremely useful if you're planning on breaking Varel's weapon. I'll probably get the same for his HP though. Okay, now with the Aqua Saber, you shouldn't have really that much of a problem dealing with Varel. So long as he keeps still long enough for you to use it. Again, I'll try to break his weapon, but no promises. Especially with how low his HP's getting. Honestly, it might just be safer to beat him right now. 4 HP. Okay, well, I guess I can't. Oh, well. Well, I know I tried anyway. Okay, after beating him, okay, let's see here, 250 HP, I should be fine, especially with a heal spell. Okay, now, yeah, for pretty much every boss fight from here on out, if you do have it, use Astral Guard. I cannot express how helpful that thing is, seeing as it negates the recoil effect that enemies have. Oh yes, that's right, you can only equip one weapon at a time, so if you do have one, make sure you use the Aqua Saber. That'd be my suggestion. As well as have all your charges ready. I think this guy actually uses an electric spell some of the time. If you do have Astral Guard, just cast it right off the bat. Yeah, I'm just gonna aim for his HP. Pretty sure this guy can't heal himself. You should be able to get boost if you enchant Aqua while with an Aqua Saber. Two more hits do it. Ah well, it's not going as well as I planned when I thought I could break some of their weapons. Oh well. Oh, there we go, Astral Guard. That one is an extremely helpful thing. Let's just increase attack. That seems to be doing just fine. Okay, and after another night goes by, right, so we'll hire someone else to do it for us. I don't know, that sounds like something like he would do. Youch. And you get a new technique, which if I remember correctly is not as good as the Iron Saber or Aqua Saber. Anyway, I am going to end this episode here. That being said, I hope everyone's going to enjoy this series, so everybody have a good day.